Focus. Focus. Okay. Welcome back. I'm still deep in the sick haze. Got my OJ here. I've never had this brand before, like yesterday, and it's probably the best brand of orange juice. It's delicious. Anyway, I watched this documentary a couple days ago. Netflix and Hulu, in competition of each other, both decided to release a new documentary about the Fyre Festival. If you don't know what the Fyre Festival is, you could easily look it up, but essentially it was a complete disaster. It was the DashCon of music festivals. It was just a complete disaster train wreck music festival for rich kids that that completely fell apart and descended into like Lord of the Flies chaos on some remote island in the Bahamas. And it was incredible. And it was like, but this is real. It's not a fictional story. This actually happened. And so this we all know the story. We all know what happened. We all know it was a scam. We all know it was poorly organized. We all know the basics. We don't really know the true detailed story. And while this documentary, I haven't watched the Hulu one yet, so maybe I have to watch that too to get the world version. While this documentary was very, very interesting and definitely did a deep dive into all the logistical issues that happened with this thing, it was very finger pointy. It was essentially like this one guy, I don't remember his exact name, this one guy was the evil sociopathic mastermind behind this, and that everyone else was trying to stop him, and he was kind of the villain in this whole story, and blackmailing, manipulating people, and just destroying people's lives until he can get what he wanted, and it absolutely failed. And so it's entirely blaming everything on this one man. However, I don't necessarily know. It's very biased. I don't necessarily know if there are things to account for. Like the marketing firm that's doing the work for the fire company. Like they're innocent, right? They just got laid off. They had no know what was going on. They had nothing to do with it. And it's like, yes, it does paint them as a victim, and you could see how they would be a victim in this situation because they weren't necessarily directly involved with the fire festival itself. But I think they definitely know a little bit more than they're letting on. Like, come on, really? And it just paints some of these big, like, upper echelon people in the development of the festival as victims in the wake of this one man. And it essentially tries to target this one man and say he is the absolute mastermind. And like I said, it's just, I can believe it, but I don't know for sure if it's real because this isn't an objective piece of journalism. This is a documentary with an agenda to put this man down. And so while it might very well be the true story, I think there's a little bit more nuance than they're letting on here. And I really do need to watch the Hulu documentary because I wonder if you watch both. I saw an article by One Perfect Shot that said two Fyre Festival documentaries released on the same day. You should watch both or neither. And I wonder if that gives the other side of the story and sort of sees who else is complicit in this disaster. And the interesting thing about it, and obviously this was known, but it really is a combination of poor planning. Like, it really is a combination of criminally poor planning and tragedy of the masses, because it wouldn't have been nearly as a disaster as it was if human nature didn't kick in and essentially the guests of the festival just descended into Lord of the Flies mentality and just started stealing shit from each other, looting people's tents, hoarding items, hoarding mattresses, leading to violence. And obviously it was pretty much alcohol induced because they weren't given barely any food or water, but they were given a ton of liquor. And I thought that was a fucking good idea. But yeah, so it really is a combination of a criminal enterprise, a really poor planning, desperation planning based planning system, and and tragedy of the masses amongst the guests. And I think that's what really came together in the film The Fyre Festival. And it did touch upon all those elements, but it really definitely was targeting one person as a villain. That's why I say this is definitely worth watching, but just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that it is an inherently biased pursuit of the story. And just know that when you go in.